It's never easy to do something what you just did, and I appreciate that. It's very mature of you. Okay, just real quick, Lee, this that was on your table is just to let you know that every so often they're going to sell concessions, and this one will be this Friday, and everything is $1. And they usually push, y'all know how they do it. They push the cart around, and then we can come out and get a stack. I don't know what time of the day it is. We'll just kind of have to, when they come, we'll stop what we're doing and zip back. But if you want to, and you can't use this to scan, it has to be a dollar like that. Okay.
Is it like a circle?
I don't think it's snow cones. It's usually
Is it like chips?
chips.
Yeah,
And
like what they did last year, like they had Kool-Aid,
it's things like that. So that will be this Friday. All right. So take a minute. Have you already written in your Bible verse paper your two things you've got to write? Yep, you got those two things. Awesome. Carter, where's your book? All right. What you got? All right, Coop, take it away.
Whoever pursues it in love finds life.
So whoever, that's all of us, anybody. Whoever pursues. What does it mean to pursue something? It sounds like persuade. To what? Five? Yes, sir.
Go after something.
Go after something. Have you ever been holding a football and someone pursued you? Have you ever been playing chase and someone pursued you? Have you ever seen a policeman pursue a bad guy? Pursuit means to go after, to chase. And not just a little, like, I mean, you rush. Like if you're holding a football and you're running toward the end zone, the little guy doesn't just do like this, right neck running to try to tackle you. He's coming after you hard. Pursuit means to go after something with all you got. So whoever pursues, whoever goes after righteousness and love. So if I'm chasing, if I'm focusing on being untamable by the world, if I'm trying to imitate God, I'm chasing after God, my righteousness, I'm chasing after love, I'm trying to be kind, I'm asking God to cover the multitude of sins with my love. I'm chasing after the right thing. So if you do that, life, prosperity, and honor. Now, that doesn't mean that if I do the right thing, I'm going to be rich. Some people say that. Oh, if you do the right thing, God will bless you with money. That's not what that means.
He blesses you with love.
Hold on. It means if you pursue righteous love, you're going to find eternal life. Now, I can have a great life here on earth and I go to hell. Or I can have a great life here on earth, pursue righteousness, put my eyes on God, and my life will never. I will have eternity with God. So this is what it means. I'm going to find eternity with God when I'm seeking after the things God wants me to seek after. Prosperity. Can you imagine how all of your needs are going to be met in heaven? You ever thought about that? Like you feel hunger here and you like can't get to eat or something. If you're in the car, mom says, "Wait till we get home," and you're hungry, and you sit there, and your tummy just grumbles and grumbles. And then there are some children that they don't really have food, and so their tummy's grumbling a lot of times. That need, that desire to want to eat and can't. There are some places, even in our country, that people don't have good, healthy drinking water. The water makes them sick and makes them sick. So having good water, there are places that, hey, I saw with my own eyes a house, and it was in our state, and the little kids lived in the house, and they were ground like to the ground. There wasn't just the wood floor was rolled up or chipped up or tearing the carpet. I mean, there's a hole in the floor. You can see the dirt in the ground. I've seen houses where the windows were cracked and busted open, no air conditioning, and bugs, mosquitoes flying in. But imagine the prosperity that we will have in heaven. We don't have to worry about a hole in the floor. We don't have to worry about a grumbling tummy. We don't have to worry about a sore. We don't have to worry about a heartache. My friend hurt my feelings. My grandparents sick. Daddy's job is lost his job, and we've got to move to another place. I'm losing my friend. My mom and daddy are fussing, and they don't want to live together anymore. All those aches and pains, we don't have when we're in heaven. We pursue righteousness and love. God will lead us, and He will teach us, and then we will spend eternity with Him, where we have every need met. I can't imagine more prosperity than having all my needs met. All right, take a minute and write something that you think. Yes, my love?
The Bible verse talking about like if you do good things will come back to you, like, and if you do bad things will come back to you.
Yeah, that is fairly true. All right, Bryce said if you do good things come to you. If you do bad things come to you. Okay, that is pretty much true, but have you ever done something nice and something bad happened? Yeah. You can't just say, if I do the right things, then good things are going to happen. It's a good example to live by, and a lot of it is true. If I'm kind to Lila, chances are Lila's going to be kind back to me. Okay, if I'm mean to Lila, chances are she's going to be mean back to me. I don't know about Lila being mean. I can't imagine her ever being mean. But if you meet somebody and you're mean and rough, do you think they're going to be willing to help you later with something? Probably not. But if someone is really mean, have you ever seen somebody? This is kind of funny. Blanton, come here. I'm going to let you help me. All right. So if Blanton comes to me and I'm so mean, no, I'm not going to play with you. No, you're not my friend. You're not my friend. And he turns and he looks at me and says, "Hey, you want to play with me?" Say, "You want to play with me?" Well, come on. So it's hard to be mean back to somebody who's being nice to you. Hey, Miss Amy, come on in. You're doing our Bible verse.
I'll make bags. I'll make them. Here's your name, Cassie. Hopefully, I didn't do that.
Thank you, Miss Amy. You're awesome. Thank you. Miss Amy is going to work on you being able to get in your facts and see your grades. We talked about that the other day. So she's going to work on that. So, yes, it's hard to be mean to someone who's being nice. Yes, Mr. Parker. Absolutely, my love. All right, so take a minute, and while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get ready for our science. Yes, darling? Make it snappy because usually we don't go out after we get our one. We do all that before. But make it snappy. Okay, just to review from yesterday, we learned a lot yesterday. We learned a lot about photosynthesis and how photosynthesis occurs in the plant. In what part of the plant? The leaves. The leaves. All right, so stand up. Roots. Okay, I mean your toes. All right, so those are your roots. And they're at the end of the stem, right? X is toward the end of the alphabet. So that's how I keep xylem and phloem separate. All right, so wiggle your roots. And your roots are going to do this. What? So that's right. Through the xylem. All right, so the nutrients, the water, the nutrients are coming up through the xylem, the little internal tubes, the structures, and they go up to the leaves. Now the leaves are turning and facing toward the sun so they can capture the energy from the sun. And inside those leaves are little kitchens. What are those kitchens called? The chloroplasts. Those are the little kitchens. If you smell them, I think they're cooking honey buns today. So anyway, your little kitchens, your chloroplasts are making plant needs. There are three things. Tell me what they need. They need water. Let's do water last. They need sun,
and air,
what kind?
carbon dioxide.
And then water. So when they get all of those, they go to work. They've got all their ingredients. So they've made their food. Now from here, they take that food And what is it that's the server, like Uber Eats? What's the server?
The
Phloem. They travel through the phloem, and it can go to other leaves if they need it. It can go to stem. It can go to the fruit if it makes a fruit. The flower. It goes to the root. It gives the food for everywhere. It goes to the whole plant. Now, underneath the leaf, put your leaf up. On the underside of the leaf are the stomata. That's plural. And there's little bitty tiny holes. That's where the carbon dioxide enters. Also where the oxygen exits. If it's made enough oxygen, if it gets too much water, guess where it exits?
It goes down.
This morning there was a lot of droplets. Now yesterday we turned the plant. The leaves were all facing, not all, were mostly facing the sun. So I turned the plant around so the leaves were facing the classroom. So we'll watch it, and by the end of the day, we'll see where the leaves are facing.
There are 5 little
Okay, take a seat for me quickly. Just a second, my love. And we're going to open our science book, please, to page 22. So we're going to open to page 22, and we have a picture of photosynthesis. Okay, today, grab a sheet of paper. Oh, okay, perfect. And just write on that, and you can glue it inside or copy it inside, okay? All right, so photosynthesis. Hey, yes, that's okay. All right, so this is an image of photosynthesis. This is showing all the aspects that are going to go in. What is it that we breathe in? What do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. All right, so do that. Okay, just to make sure. All right. Plants are very busy organisms. They take in sunlight, water, carbon dioxide. The leaves complete the photosynthesis. The plant produces sugar and oxygen. Sugar is what the plant's going to eat. I mean, come on. How lucky to be a plant. You just sit around and eat sugar all day. And it produces oxygen. The sugar is used to give the plant the energy it needs to survive and grow. The oxygen is released back into the air. Photosynthesis is part of God's design for living things. God designed plants to need carbon dioxide that we breathe out. People and animals need each other, need the plants to complete this cycle. Plants use light energy from the sun. They use energy, the light, the carbon dioxide, and water to make the food and the oxygen. The plant uses some food to grow, and it stores extra food in its leaf and in its fruit. People and animals eat plants. Yum. I ate a salad last night. I ate a plum last night, a product of a plant. The energy in the plant is transferred or moved to the organism that eats it. So, my plum that I ate, I went to Super One last night and I bought a plum, went home and washed it. The energy that is in that plum, I ate. I ate that energy, and I had the energy and the nutrients that the plant created. I just think that's amazing. Without photosynthesis. Okay, so let's play what if. What if God had not, hey, Blanton, put your chair down. What if God had not created or planned for photosynthesis? Tell me some things that would have happened.
If we would not be able to breathe.
We would be No oxygen. What else? Glenn?
The animals would all die.
Okay. Animals would eventually suffer. Yes, sir.
All the plants would die, and there would be no population of life on Earth.
Holy smoke. Yes, ma'am. Eventually, she's got a good point. She said every only thing left would be fish. Why would fish be left?
Because they live in water.
They live in water. They don't.
Wait,
live
but Gar would die because
Yeah.
Gar breathed air.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all, Ella just brought out a point that we hadn't talked about. All the caterpillars that eat, all that nibble on the plants, and then cocoon, and then.
That's beautiful.
So imagine, and y'all, we try and we fail, we try and fail. That's science. That's just what it is. God is the ultimate scientist. He never had to do a backup plan. He never had to make a hypothesis like scientists. We look at something and we wonder, I bet if I do this, then this will happen. And so we get our materials together and we do that experiment or that activity, and then we record the outcome. God never had to experiment. He never had to guess. What if I make plans to do blah, blah? He already knew. That blows my mind because I like to try to pretend I think like a scientist. What if? I wonder. God never outcome before he did the activity or the experiment. Mind blown. Okay, we have an activity that we're going to do inside our book today. And it's going to go kind of slow, but we can't take the whole time because we have a little bit more to do in our book. This is a picture right here of a plant with arrows with holes in it that we're going to have to glue what's happening there. So this is going to be an image of photosynthesis in action. I went ahead and cut this for us so we can move faster. So this is going to glue in. So on your page, you're looking at your book, your left hand, this goes on the left, and then we'll talk about something over here on the right. So this is the left hand side. So glue this in on the very next left hand side of your page. That's why we said make sure that you have glue and scissors to cut something in here. I did help by cutting this, but this next part, you got to cut this on your own. I'll show you why. So this is going to go on your left hand side. It's up to you. You can glue on the paper, or you can just take this and do it. But it was something that not a lot. If you like, you can just hold on to this and then on that paper, you can loosely write your now, the very next left-hand side. So let me cut it. Hey, the very next left-hand side. Yes. The very next left-hand side. Don't say, is this the one? It's going to be on the very next left-hand side. Now, this is the part I didn't cut all this for you. Girlfriend, do not ask. This one, it is the very next left-hand side. Okay? All right, now these are what I didn't cut. This is y'all got to do the cutting on this. Allie Grace, check with the neighbor. The very next left-hand page. This part, you're going to be like, man, I wish you'd have cut this part. If you have a question about where one would go before you glue it, check with it. Because once you glue it, it's going to be hard to get it up. Alrighty, I think I have, yes, that'll work. And so we can kind of go over it a little bit here. All right, so we've got our plant. And think about the eras. Now, what I do is I like to weed things out. That means I like to try to take the part I know for sure and do it first. So if I'm looking at, I've got an era, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 eras, and then I've got 1 rectangle. So using your clues, using some good visual clues, do you see what is going to go right there? How do you know? It's only 1 box. You're exactly right. So I feel very, very confident in gluing makes glucose. Now, glucose is a very fancy word that just means sugar. Glucose is the sugary substance that the plant is making. It's the energy that's feeding it. So I've got 1 done. Now that leads me to 1, 2, 3, 4 eras. Okay, I notice 1 era is oxygen. Now I know I breathe in oxygen and blow out carbon dioxide. But a plant, does a plant take in oxygen or put off oxygen? Put off. So is there an era that's leaving the plant? Is there an era leaving? So what leaves the plant? Oxygen. So okay, I'm confident. I can put oxygen.
It's going to be upside down though.
That's fine. Turn it around. Turn your book over. So I've taken care of 2. Now, that leaves me water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide. What you got, my friend? So that leaves water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide. Now, thinking about water, Asian, do you think could come up with some water? Which one do you think would be water? What? The bottom. I agree. I would put my water because the water is coming from the roots, going up the xylem, the little internal structures, the internal tubes. So it's sucking up that water. Yes, sir? The very next left-hand side. All right, think about the left. Make sure it's on the left. Thank you. On the left. Now we've taken care of oxygen, makes glucose and water. That's going to leave us carbon dioxide and sunlight. Now my clues. One of them's longer than the other, but I don't even want to look at the clues of longer. So sunlight. Light usually comes from above. So which one do you think we would put sunlight on? I agree, Max. I agree. I would put sunlight. I would too. I agree. And that is going to leave carbon dioxide. Yes, you're right. And that, my lovies, is a model of our photosynthesis.
I don't think mine, if I put mine on where it's not to be, it's upside down.
Sometimes it might be. You could just turn your paper
Yeah, my
around.
oxygen is upside down.
Turn your paper around. Now make sure you have those cut and glued. If ever you are gluing and it just doesn't seem like it's staying, I have some tape over here. My tape is located right behind Allie Grace in this basket. So if you ever need tape, just ease over there and get you a little piece. Oh, yeah, there's also a shoe with tape right there. And look, that plant is taking it over. Look how good that plant is growing.
Right, the outside away from my dad's office, and it has that plant spines growing up all around it, and it's just so creepy.
So creepy. Okie dokie.
Now we did this on the left-hand side, so no. Now later, I don't mind if you're at home and you're studying. Oh, absolutely. But we just don't want to take up class time. But absolutely, you can put color on it when you get time, but not during our class time. Okay, I'm ready to move this off the screen. Is that okay with y'all? All right. Go to our notes now. So we now have on the left-hand side our photosynthesis guide, and then on the right we are going to write. Let's see up here. So we got a picture. We got to have notes, a sentence on the other side. So the right's always going to be sentences, and so on this side, on your sentence side, we're going to say God is the ultimate scientist. So that is your sentence for today in that section. Yes. Not beside it. Where do we put it? Where do we put it, guys and girls? On the right hand side. On the right hand side. No, but that's all for this one. Now on this one, you can be creative on this one. You can write, you got that whole page for that. You can write it larger. You can center it if you like. Correct. So if you would like, you can make it look something like that. You can drop down on that page, make it sort of in the middle. You can make a bubble around it and put lines, colored pencil colors coming out from it. Yes. So this is one, and you can go ahead and decorate it a little bit. Usually we don't do that, but right now we have a little bit of time for it. So we can make little lines. Mhm. And just as you're doing that and drawing around it, I want you to think about how he didn't do things by trial and error. He didn't make a plan and then think, oh, wait, let me see if I can change it to do such and such. He just knew. He just knew. Every now and then there's something that I just know, but it doesn't happen very often. Most of the things is just. We are going to start conduct marking for not listening. Okay, that's our big. Y'all are very respectful and you're very kind to each other and you're very polite. But we are going to start for not following directions. Okay, so make sure that you're following directions. Yes, my love? I had an extra one. That was the day that you were not here, and I did save one for you in my extra place. I noticed there's a couple of folks that do not have their book. It's still over here. There's two Carter, do you have your math folder like this? That might be why. Then grab one. There's one more friend that did not pick up their math folder. Okay, you don't have your math folder. It has been sitting here for a week.
I mean, Brand.
I think Brent got his. This was before he was sick. Okay. Once you make that look awesome, turn the page. And today we're going to talk a little bit about leaves. Got about 10 minutes, and we are rocking and rolling. So when you open the book now, on the left-hand side, you have your picture of your photosynthesis. And on the right-hand side, I have God is the ultimate scientist. The page, and we're on this new set of pages. Good job, Lance. Way to be ready.
You like Swiss charges?
I struggled with that. Did you?
Yeah. Swiss charge.
Oh, yes, sir. Take a savvy, that's 101.
We have every like Sunday or Saturday. My parents.
How awesome. That is so cool. All right, let's turn the page, and we're going to be now looking at page 42. Or you may look on your Chromebook and you may scroll down until you get to 24. If you're scrolling on your Chromebook and then it ends, the chapter ends. Like it's just gone. Where do you go then? To the next one, to part 2. But right now we're still on part 1. Leaves. What? Press the arrow down. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. All right, let's see if there we go. Thank you. All right. Yes, darling? Okay, take a seat, Blanton. No, Pumpkin, we're good. We got lots of Bobos lately. Yes, you. Who said that? Yes, Ainsley, for your birthday. Now, before we begin, we're going to write pages 24 dash. But leave that open right now because I don't know how far we get. I think we're just going to get to page 24. And if so, we'll erase the dash and the S. All right, Ainsley, kinds of leaves. Take it away, girlfriend. Whoa. Page 24, pumpkin pie. Kinds of leaves. That's okay.
Different types of roots. There are also different types of leaves.
Okay, time out. She said, just as there are different types of roots. I didn't get to show you this yesterday. But look, you remember your fibrous roots? Uh-huh. Lots of little bitty ones that are hairy like. Look. I dug this up and it was a weedy grass. I pulled that up and there's those roots. I tried to wash them off so you could see the coloring, but it's still kind of dirty. But I'll leave that on the table over there. And then remember what kind of root is taproot? Yeah. It's thick. Now this one is thin because it's a thin plant. I couldn't go out there and pull up a big, huge pecan tree.
No, that's called.
It just wouldn't fit in the Bronco. Otherwise, I would have done it.
That would take a whole.
And so taproots, when you look at that up close, you can see little bitty hairies coming off. But can you see the difference? This is even a taproot on this plant. This plant has a taproot. And then here's your fibrous ones. So you can kind of see the difference. Ma'am? Yeah. It's not a desirable grass. This is a weedy grass.
There's small looking plants.
But right before we ease out, when you get a chance, we'll ease back there and take a peek. So just as there are different types of roots, as Ainsley was reading, she said different types of roots, different types of stems. And we talked about the stems, how some are soft and green, and then some are woody with bark, like a tree. Take it away, girlfriend. All right, she said, just as there are different kinds of roots and stems.
There are also different types of leaves. On these
Wait, read that one again. The most.
are found flowering plants. Many types of trees and shrubs are flowering plants. Of these flowering plants and sizes, there are
These.
these leaves are often have long surfaces to take sunlight and outside.
Okay, stop there. So Ainsley just said, like, there's different types of roots, different types of stems, there's different types of leaves. Okay, two that we're going to work on, and I wish they would say deciduous, but our book doesn't mention the word deciduous. There are basically two types of trees, like two parts of sentences. Two types of trees. You have the evergreen, which forever stays green, evergreen, like pine trees and spruce. And then we have a deciduous group. Now, our book doesn't mention deciduous. They call it flowering trees. But we have an evergreen. The leaves always stay there. Like your pine trees, they stay green. Right, then you have the trees that their leaves change in the fall. Deciduous, they'll lose them. They refer to those as flowering. Blanton, we're off of our Bible verse. Come on. All right. Close. If you need to, close that and stay with me. Just close it because I think it's a distraction. Yes, like pecan trees. Their leaves usually fall. There are different shapes and different sizes. Okay. Some are more rounded, some are jaggedy. Oh, I mean, just in our room, look at the different types of just on these plants. And then you go outside and you start looking at the different types of leaves. I mean, there's just so many different ones. Sometimes if it's a bigger leaf, what do you think it's taking in more? Sunlight. That's right. It's taking in more sunlight. And a smaller leaf would have to be taking in less sunlight. Maybe it needs less food. All right. Ainsley, that was good reading. Would you pick a boy? Oh, sorry. Hurry, hurry. One, two. Thank you. Okay, he's not ready. Pick somebody else. Peyton. Leaves. Pick someone else. It's super important to be with us. Look, Fisher knows. Go, Fisher. Go, Fisher. Perfect. Perfect. There is your deciduous that's losing. All right, pick a girl to read that last paragraph.
Another common type of leaf is found on evergreen plants. Evergreen leaves stay green even when the weather gets colder. Many evergreen leaves needles take in as much sunlight as larger ones, but they grow in cold weather much better.
All right, so it sounds like we've got two that we can kind of compare and contrast. Now, instead of doing our dots with our notes like that, today we're going to draw a T chart. A T chart looks like the letter T. Huh? What do you think about that? It looks like the letter T. So this is going to be our T chart. So in your book, and you may use the whole page on your left hand side. This is your notes underneath your page number, and draw a T. Ooh, my shoes are squeaky today. And we are going to compare and contrast two types of leaves or two types of trees. So the first one, does anybody remember the name? And I said I like to refer to these as deciduous, but our book refers to them as Flowering. That's exactly right. And they called that flowering plants. Flowering. And then I think it was Lila that read that last set. What was the other type called?
The
Evergreen. Okay. So on my chart, oh look, I'm gonna be snazzy. Y'all just using your same color, but I'm gonna be snazzy. Now under our flowering and under our evergreen, are there some things that we've learned from those? Lila, tell me something, and it can be from either side.
Okay, the sensitive.
Yeah, well, say one first, and then tell me another.
The evergreen stays green
Okay.
every single season.
So underneath there, I'm gonna put a steady dot, and I'm gonna write stays green. And instead of saying every season, I'm trying to make it short so we don't have a lot. So you take notes as you can, but still understand what it means. Right? And what was the other thing you wanted to say?
The flowering plant, it turns like different.
Okay. Leaves turn colors. Oh, and my leaves and turn are very close together. Is that hard for y'all to read? Space it over a little bit. Is there anything else? Okay, Ainsley read the first one, and she said there's different types of leaves. The most common are found on flowering plants. Okay, um, they're different shapes and sizes. Um, they usually change color and they fall to the ground. And then that was Fisher read that, and then Lila read the evergreens stay green. They're usually shaped like a needle. They grow better in cold. Anything else that y'all what? Usually shaped like a needle. I agree. Usually shaped like a needle. Uh-huh. Now, not always. There are some evergreens that are not shaped like a needle, but usually they're shaped like a needle. They need less sunshine, but they grow better in cold weather. Okay.
Try red banana.
Oh, I would like to try red banana. This is a red banana.
It's a red banana.
Looks brown.
Oh, oh, that's good.
Isn't that good?
That's better than a yellow banana.
It looks brown.
Looks brown. It's like a purplish reddish.
We're gonna argue about the color.
Oh,
It's a red banana. Yes.
Now,
I looked it up.
are y'all eating a red banana?
Mine is
What do you say? Can say. What do you say? There you go.
Miss Fox is going to get someone who said
I'm gonna take my shoe off. It's a butter knife. Watch out with Carter. We don't want to scare Mr. Carter. Okay, so I think maybe one more than one, maybe what you got? Good job. The most common is the flowering. Now, this is the notes. This concludes our notes section on the left side. Now, we're going to use what we've learned about leaves, and we're going to write our sentences on the right side. And you know what we need to do while we're here? I'm going to slide back up, and I am going to just say page 24. So that's all that we're going to be. So I wasn't quite sure, but yes, we're just going to say page 24. So take off your S. and then page 24. All right, are y'all ready? We got this? All right, so now let's see if I can, when I return. Yes, hallelujah. So we're going to go to the next page. So what side, left or right? Right, you're so right. All right, on our right. Now let's see if we can make a sentence. What? Oh, okay. Got a question? You're going to cut that and glue that in your notebook on the left. Oh, just to save paper, just right on the bottom because you're going to cut that part, okay, and place it in. So I'm gonna open this up. Now I've been doing all the sentences pretty much myself. This is one that's not real exact, and I'm opening it up. I'm opening it up to y'all. So looking at your T chart, you have a sentence. What could you say? Okay, so he wants to put flowering, most common, and they turn colors. So he's going to combine. That's good. So we would say, let's start with the most common type of leaf is found on the flowering plant and they turn colors. We could put all of it in together. Okay. All right. So let's start with the most. Hey, check that out. I changed it just a little. The most common type of leaf is found on the color changing flowering plant. Hey, hey, hey. We put three little facts in one sentence. And that sounds kind of like an eighth grade sentence to me. What you got, Mr. Blanton?
So you know how whenever it's colder, the leaves change colors? Whenever it's winter,
And houseplants usually don't change with the weather unless I were to put one outside. Now, do you know why plants change colors and leaves change colors and drop?
so how it has a certain weather climate, but inside,
Has a certain weather. What is it that plants are needing that is provided outside?
sun,
Sun.
and if it's cold outside,
Yep. It doesn't have a lot to do with the temperature, though. Do you know, like later in winter, how the sun shines later in the morning and the sun sets earlier in the evening? We have less day hours of sunlight. In the summer, man, I'd stay outside to 9 o'clock at night and play because I got sunshine. But in the winter, Mama calls me in around 5 because the sun, I don't have any more sunlight. And so, what is it that the plants are needing to make their energy?
sunlight,
So, if there's less sunlight, there's gonna be less less energy for the plant. And so that's why the plants go into their dormant, their resting time. All right. So our next one, our other side, we said evergreen stays green, shapes are like a needle. How can I weave that into a magical, good, strong sentence? Ainsley, what are you thinking?
evergreen leaves.
I like that. We put it together. Evergreen leaves stay, you want to say stay green and are usually shaped like a needle. I agree. Good job. Oh, Miss Roberts. You got it. Now, when you're making sentences, whether it's science, whether it's in your English class, or whether you're with Miss Longoria writing a sentence in her room, or writing a sentence in math, or with Miss Stiles, Give me good sentences. Two facts together. You know, our homework sounded kind of funny last night. Like that classwork yesterday. Rabbits live in tunnels called warrens. Rabbits sleep in tunnels called warrens. Blah. Those are like pre-K sentences. We start putting facts together and making your sentences more interesting. How boring would it be if you read a book? The boy saw the giraffe. The giraffe saw the boy. The boy said hi to the giraffe. The giraffe ran away. The boy chased the giraffe. The giraffe turned and said hi. Ugh. I would not want to read a book like that. Start putting your thoughts together and making stronger, better sentences. Yes, ma'am?
The books I like to read have I like a little pictures.
Yeah,
I can't.
I like pictures too. Okay, this is going to end our science. So when you have your good sentences, we did 4 pages today in science, right? We did our picture of photosynthesis on the left. Then we wrote about God being the ultimate scientist on the right. Then we did a T chart to compare and contrast the types of trees. And then on the right, we wrote our sentences reflecting our thoughts. Ma'am,
We did all that.
we were amazing. Yes, ma'am.
The other class, on series, we're gonna use 4 pages of science. So they can do
So they'll freak out. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and get our English